Coronavirus now responsible for 30 confirmed deaths in the United States. The World Health Organization declaring the outbreak a worldwide pandemic. New York State taking extreme measures to stem the spread in one of its hardest hit areas, New Rochelle. This is a suburb of Manhattan. The governor announced a 1-mile containment zone in the city of New Rochelle. National Guard has been called in to help clean public places and deliver food. And here now is the mayor of New Rochelle, Noam Bramson. Mr. Mayor, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. As it happens, and it's true for a lot of Manhattanites, I have family in New Rochelle. My nephew lives in the zone itself. I know this is not a quarantined area yet, technically defined, but he and other people in the zone are worried that it will become that. Should he be worried about that? Is it going to become an actual quarantine area where people can't get out?
We have no reason to expect that at all. And let's be clear about what the containment zone is and what it's not. It's an area in which large gatherings are prohibited within large institutions, which is a sensible means of mitigating the spread of the virus in the area where it's been most prevalent. But it's not a prohibition on people entering or exiting. It does not have an impact on individual residents or on individual businesses. It's not an exclusion zone. It's not a quarantine zone. And we've been given no indication whatsoever from state officials that those additional measures are under contemplation for this time.
So, Mr. Mayor, taking the other approach, then, is that dramatic enough?
Well, look, all we can do is take direction from the public health professionals who have the greatest access to information, the greatest depth of expertise, and the ability to consult with colleagues at the CDC. So the measures that are in place in New Rochelle were developed by the Commissioner of Health, Dr. Howard Zucker, who advised the governor. We've been collaborating with the state and with the county on a consistent basis, and we think it's our job to make sure that we work with the state hand in glove in order to implement this successfully.
Mayor, have your medical institutions there found that supplies are adequate, that they have enough medicines, masks, respirators, all those things that people are afraid are going to be running out at some point? Have you found that tests are available easily?
Well, those are two different questions. So with respect to our hospitals and medical providers, I'm in regular touch with the head of our local hospital, Montefiore, New Rochelle. There are many other medical providers that are in the region. They tell me that they are ready for whatever may come their way, and we're grateful for their preparedness. With respect to testing, as we know, there's a nationwide constraint which has really hampered our ability as a country to confront this pandemic in the way that we should. The good news in New Rochelle is that the state has directed additional resources to our community with additional testing capacity arriving as well. So we've been able to up the volume and the pace of testing. But we know that a lot more testing really needs to be done because you can't manage what you can't measure. And so testing has really been one of the obstacles that all of us have had to overcome.
No, it's Robert Wolf. I just want to we're lucky to have you as a Westchester resident running that town and city. My question is, what are some of the citizens, how are they feeling? What are the questions they're asking? What seems to be the concerns that we seem to be more concerned than maybe they are inside the city?
Well, I got to say, I'm really proud of the people of New Rochelle because I think most people have demonstrated a level of concern and focus that is proportionate to the challenge. Naturally concern about one's own health, the health of one's family, the health of one's neighbors. For people who are under quarantine, that is obviously a deep disruption in their normal lives. And now there are lots of people whose kids are out of school and they have to deal with childcare and other issues. And yet none of that has strayed into panic or hysteria or the kinds of self-defeating practices which might lead to bad decision-making. People are taking guidance from public health professionals. They are supporting their neighbors. They're staying informed. And they're demonstrating that this is a strong and resilient city that is going to be able to overcome this challenge.
The media's made New Rochelle almost like a boogeyman.
Yeah.
I mean, has that been a good thing or has that been not a good thing?
I missed the word you applied. The media has made New Rochelle into a what?
Like a boogeyman. I mean, literally, it's kind of just right there in your face is almost. I think they don't understand what containment means versus quarantine, and they're not able to listen to you 24/7 to understand it. But how do you feel the media's been handling it?
Well, I think it's been mixed, as is always the case with the media. I think there have been many fair accounts that have been careful to be factual and have portrayed our city accurately as resilient and vibrant. And there have been other media accounts that have less concerned with sticking to the facts and have been sensationalist. The best thing we can do is make sure that we get the truth out in a way that is timely, accurate, and reflective of what's actually happening on the ground.
Mayor, what?
So Mayor, Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, just quick. First of all, I'm sure people are watching this show are wondering, is this coming to my town or a town near me? And I'm not exactly clear about why New Rochelle is being is in this containment center. And number two, when you said that public gatherings would be discouraged, does that mean restaurants are going to be closed, movie theaters? Does it mean schools? What are you talking about in terms of these public gatherings?
So first, the reason why this is being applied in New Rochelle is we happen to have the highest incidence of coronavirus.
How many?
In the state, possibly. It's about 100, and the reason
100,
I'm a little cagey about the number is it changes, quite frequently, but about 100. Almost all, if not all, traced back to a single index patient who has a great number of relationships within our community. So it does make sense, simply because of the numbers, to devote additional attention to New Rochelle. In terms of what the exclusion zone prohibits, restaurants are still open, businesses are still open, but this does have an impact on schools, both public as well as private and parochial. It has an impact on houses of worship, on country clubs. So the kinds of facilities and institutions that really have large gatherings, their activities are being curtailed.
When you say an
Again,
impact,
that's
when
a
you say an
sensible
impact,
measure.
do you mean they're closing down when you say an impact?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Certainly in the case of the schools, they're closing. Houses of worship not having mass services. So I don't want to minimize that. That is a significant effect on the life of our community and on thousands of people within it. But it's not a lockdown. And it's easy when you hear a term like containment zone to misunderstand what that really means, especially when we see what's happening in Italy and in China and assume that something similar is happening here in the United States. That's not the case in New Rochelle.
Mr. Mayor, we have to go, but you mentioned the patient number one. We won't mention who that is, although the name has been out there. We understood that he was in a coma. Do you have any update on his condition?
I do not have any information about his condition beyond what's been stated in the media. I will say that the community of Young Israel of New Rochelle, to which he belongs, has been absolutely extraordinary throughout this episode, responsible, public-spirited, and we should remember that the index patient is a victim in all of this. We should wish him good health, speedy and full recovery. He's in no way responsible for what's occurred. And this is a time for all of us to be compassionate and supportive of our neighbors.
As we are for all of the residents of New Rochelle, and we wish you the very best, Mayor. It's a tough job, but you're up to it. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.